Hello everyone. Okay, so I'm just going to be playing Mario Kart World for fun. No particular reason, just because why not? Let's just have a nice evening here and play Mario Kart World. So I'm thinking, I'll start with a knockout tour. Feel free to tell me what you want in the chat. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so we have a knockout tour here. Always liked this particular knockout tour. So gotta be 20th or better to keep going. I don't like the Mega Mushroom as an item, at least not in Mario Kart Wii. I played Mario Kart Wii, I did not find that game fun. I think the Mega Mushroom's a bit better in this game, but it was not good in Mario Kart Wii. Mario Kart Wii had some bad items. I think that game is so overrated, honestly. Got shrunk there by the lightning bolt. Oh. I have found that 100cc is so much harder in this game than it was in 8 Deluxe. And 150cc. That's why I prefer 100cc now, because it feels like the CPU have gotten so much harder to deal with. So I prefer to go with 100cc, especially when I'm playing Knockout Tour, because it's ongoing. I don't know why, but Nintendo made it more difficult. I know that they released an update that made this game... Oh, we're getting the spiny shell. I know Nintendo released an update that made this game kind of easier, because they had the CPUs be a lot harder when Mario Kart Worlds first came out, but they've made it easier. But that barely got any coverage because everyone was complaining about the intermission courses and all that stuff, so none of that ever got really any attention. Yeah, the blue shell's always been a nightmare, honestly. Sometimes, some games is better than others. I don't know why. It seems like Nintendo, sometimes they throttle it back, and sometimes it's actually really bad, depending on what game you're playing. It's kind of a weird situation. Alright, so I'm still in first here. I do think that the CPUs are noticeably easier to deal with than they were when this game first came out. That's just kind of an opinion. I'm mixed on the Super Horn. Getting a bit distracted here. I am mixed on the Super Horn as an item. Because in 8 Deluxe it genuinely felt helpful. But this game is just so open. There's just so little going on, partly because of the intermissions. But it feels like the Super Horn is much less valuable as an item in Mario Kart World. I get so distracted while I'm talking, and then I run into stuff I shouldn't in this game. Got some Goombas running at us. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know how I feel about the cars in this game because they feel like they can get annoying. When they're annoying, they're bad, but at the same time, they don't feel that difficult to deal with when you hit them. I don't know how I feel about them. They're just everywhere. Hi, Finley. Glad you're in my chat. Thank you for watching. Ooh, got a boo here. Another blue shell. Okay, that's to be expected when you're first. Yeah, so I recently got a capture card, which is kind of what allows you to stream Nintendo games, because Nintendo's super restrictive about recording gameplay. They don't want you to do it clearly, but they don't really stop creators from doing it. So I'm kind of I haven't used it as much as I'd like to, although I'm using it right now. I'm trying to start getting into live streaming, but I just find them so difficult to set up. It's so weird. I switched to a new streaming software today. Gonna give this a try. I've got long form, my method pretty mastered, but live streams, they're not my thing. But I'm giving it a try. Okay. This bridge is so long. This is probably my favorite section of the Mario Kart World map. This game, I feel like what's good about this game hasn't really been mentioned by people. It's just a lot of the bad stuff. I don't like to directly hate on this game because I don't feel like it's genuinely that bad. I just feel like that there are certain issues with it. I was one of the people who paid $80 for this game. And I mean, I don't regret it because I've played it enough. I think that Nintendo, it wasn't even the $80 price tag. I think Nintendo just hyped up Mario Kart World, and like with 8 Deluxe was just so incredible, especially with the booster course pass. Wasn't that any track was specifically remarkable, but just the sheer amount of content in 8 Deluxe really carried it. So Mario Kart World just kind of feels like meh in comparison. Everyone thought it would be incredible, and then it didn't turn out to be that way. But Nintendo really hyped up this game. Yeah, I mean, I make, my content is very, it's very, it depends on what people are talking about. Like, I get hate for, you know, making negative Nintendo content, and then I get people who genuinely agree. It depends. YouTube's really, really screwed up right now when it comes to, um, kind of Nintendo content. Like, it's so hard to say, or so easy to say that negative Nintendo content is like people are grifting, but at the same time, it's like the algorithm. The way YouTube is going right now, it's like the only thing that's working right now. But I try not to say directly that I think Mario Kart World is awful, because I do have fun playing it. There's a lot of good in it. But $80, man, is just so expensive for any game, especially this one. Donkey Kong Bonanza I thought was a much better value. I haven't like been playing the more recent ones that have been coming out. I want to try out Kirby Air Riders, but I gotta get it at some point. I've been behind on my Nintendo games. I haven't even completed Donkey Kong Bonanza yet. I get busy with stuff. I end up making more YouTube videos than I do actually sitting down and playing, but I'm trying to get to it. I will say Mario Kart World is a really good game, if you just want to sit there and play for a little while and you don't have any specific plan. It's like really good for me right now just to talk and play. Those knockout tours usually feel longer. That one went so fast. But it's a really easy game to pick up and play, especially the free roam mode. It's really easy to just get lost in. A lot of people say the free roam mode is kind of barren. Yeah, I agree. $80 is just so much to pay for a game. It's I could have paid $50 and went for the digital copy with the Switch 2 bundle, but I just didn't want to do that. I really wanted the physical copy. I'm somebody who likes to get physical games when I can. And I mean, yeah, it's $30 more, but at the same time, I really like, I just like having a physical game. And I don't know how I feel about game key cards, because then I could start talking about game key cards on the Switch too. But I don't really play that many third-party games, honestly. Okay, so what am I gonna do here? Anyone want to drop down in the chat what mode you want to see next? Should we do Grand Prix, Knockout Tour? Should I do some time trials, a versus race, or should we go into battle mode, which we know battle on Mario Kart World is a little bit mediocre. But tell me down in the chat. It's gonna take me a minute it's gonna take you a minute for you to hear what I'm saying right now, because I'm probably about 30 seconds ahead of what actually comes through. YouTube can be a bit slow to actually get any message through. But if I don't see anything within the next few moments, I'll just pick one. Alright, I think I'll just go for another Knockout Tour. Those are very easy for me to start. I find Knockout Tour is really enjoyable, but I really wish there were custom routes. Like, the routes that Nintendo has are good, but they're, I don't know, you get a little bit tired of them. I'll do the Moon Knockout Tour, the Power Moon one. Okay, so this one starts at Bowser's Castle and it goes to Fairway Oasis, I think that's called. So we'll just skip this part here. Anyone in here, has anybody in here gotten the Switch 2 Pro controller? I got it at Costco, and this is the best controller I've ever used. This is like, you wouldn't think it would be, because the Switch 1 Pro controller was already really incredible, and then Nintendo dropped the Switch 2 Pro, and oh my lord, this thing is amazing. First of all, the sticks are so incredibly comfortable. I don't even think I could go back to the Switch 1 Pro controller after using the sticks. But also, the matte finish on it is just amazing. It feels incredibly premium. So, I've been very happy with that. Anyway, let's see if we can get some more people in here. Yeah, that's not even an understatement about the Switch 2 Pro controller. I always go off the road when I start talking. It's just so amazing. I don't even know. Nintendo really cooked with this one. I know it's like, I think it's like $85. I don't even know, is it $90? Because I know they did another price increase. I don't think the Pro controller was affected by that. But, I mean, I thought the PS5 controller was good because I got a PS5 too. Barely play it because Nintendo Sony, they don't have that many exclusives I'm interested in. I really got it for Astro Bot. That's the pull of Astro Bot, honestly. But then I, played it, and, it's a decent game. Astro Bot's just a bit too easy, though. Like, it feels more gimmicky than actually valuable in content. But the PS5, undeniably, it's a decent console. But the DualSense controller, I really like the adaptive triggers on them. But I hate the sticks. Like, the left stick on the PS5 controller is on the bottom. Like, you think your Nintendo controller and then... Oops, ran into a vehicle there. You think your Nintendo controller and then you just switch the D-pad and the left stick, and it's like I have to stretch my thumb down. If you're a person who has big hands, that's fine, but not everyone has big hands, and then it feels kind of awkward. Not that it's something that's seriously a deal breaker with the DualSense, but it makes it really interesting as an experience. Yeah, 85 is a stretch, I think, for a lot of controllers. I think the DualSense and the Xbox One are both, those are both, I think the Xbox is 60, maybe it's 70. The DualSense, I believe, is 70, but, I mean, I think 85 is worth it for the Switch 2 Pro. It's such an incredible controller. I can't say anything negative about it because there's literally nothing negative. It beats out the GameCube controller, which I think the GameCube controller is a bit overrated. I think people say, like, I think people really like it because it's unique, and especially Smash players because the A button's in such a good place. But I never got into it. I had a GameCube for a little while. The games are just so expensive to buy. Better off emulating them, honestly. I know Nintendo's putting them on Switch Online, but it's a really slow progress. They're in progress. They're not really doing it that fast. Alright, where are we? Moo Moo Meadows here, I think. The soundtrack, I know people talked about the soundtrack in Mario Kart Worlds, but it was understated how good it actually is. Like, I'll hear... Yeah, the GameCube controller, some people love it, some people hate it. It kind of depends on who you are. But it did not do it for me. I have not tried the Switch 2 one. Man, I am hitting everything today. I have not tried the Switch 2 GameCube controller, the one for Switch Online. I hear it's decent, but, you know, the GameCube controller, again, as I said, it depends on who you are. I think that the format that Nintendo has now is amazing for their controllers. I think, honestly, if they just made their next console, like, what, the Switch 3, I don't think they're going to do the Switch 3. I think it's going to be something different, but if they keep this design, I'm totally cool with it. Hey, Light451, what's going on? Thank you for being here. Yeah, but I think the Switch 2 Pro Controller is honestly peak. Yeah, the GameCube controller also, I find, just feels oddly light. I don't know if that's something just with older wired controllers, but it's kind of weird to me. Also, my GameCube, because I bought it from off eBay, that was a while back. I sold it because I just didn't want to buy games for it because they're so expensive. And it was like a Japanese import GameCube. And, it was like modded, I think. I did not know that. You would not know that by looking on eBay and looking up GameCubes. So I gotta be careful if I ever buy one again. Maybe I will do Mario Kart Worlds with viewers live stream soon. We'll just have to see about that. There we go. There's that super horn. Yeah. I do think, though, that the PS5 DualSense is definitely a top 5 controller. Even with its faults. But I still think the Switch 2 is way better. Even without the adaptive triggers. The adaptive triggers have issues of their own too, because they feel like you have to sink your finger in so far to actually press them. So I'm a bit mixed on them. Ooh, spiny shell. It depends on who you are. Alright, so going across a bridge. Oh, I think it's towards the end. Oh, I have to make sure that I'm 4th or better. I don't know. Chat, what do you think of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? Do you think that it's better than Mario Kart World? Because I think it might be better, but at the same time, it's hard to say that Mario Kart World is bad. I think it's gotten a lot of unnecessary hate. But at the same time, I think that there are some genuine issues with it, like the $80 price tag. Oh. Alright. Sorry if you guys are experiencing lag. Yeah, Mario Kart 8, I feel like right now, in particular, Mario Kart 8 is doing well just because it's just popular to say that it's better than Mario Kart World. I thought the Booster Course Pass was a really good value, but I don't feel like the game itself was super remarkable as an actual title. But it depends on who you are. The track selection was nice. The character selection was nice, but the aesthetics of it weren't that remarkable. Mario Kart World, I think, has more remarkable aesthetics and graphic design to it. There's clearly some love poured into Mario Kart World, but I think that the bad parts of it just got too much of a spotlight. I apologize if there's lag. Recently upgraded the internet, but it's kind of off and on. I think it really depends on where you live. Alright, well, I think I'll go for another knockout tour. It's gonna be the last knockout tour of this stream. The last race, actually. Alright, how about the Spiny Cup? I think I'll go for the Spiny Cup here. So this one's from Haunted Mansion, I think. Oh no, Boo Cinema. Get these track names mixed up. Boo Cinema to Wario Shipyard. Nintendo really ruined Wario Shipyard, honestly, in Mario Kart Worlds. Like, it was a good track in Mario Kart 7, but they completely changed the vibe of it in Mario Kart World. I mean, when it's nighttime, it's a decent... When it's nighttime in the game, it's a decent track. But when it's daytime, it just feels off. Like, the rainy vibe of it was what made it for me in Mario Kart 7. And Nintendo just... they messed it up. But also, I'll give a positive take. I do think Boo Cinema is a lot better than what people say. I think the theming alone carries it. People are, like a lot of YouTubers you'll see saying Boo Cinema is like, the track itself is not that exciting, but to me it's the aesthetic that's exciting. You're driving along a film strip. That's an innovative idea right there. But drop a comment, drop a chat, depending on if you're a VOD or you're watching this live. If you want me to do these streams more often, I have to get kind of a setup because I don't have any streaming infrastructure. This media you're watching is like literally my only infrastructure. I don't have any pause screens or anything like that. So I have to set that all up. but depends on what I'm doing. But streams, I don't know if I'm the most exciting person, but you can tell me in the chat what you think. Yeah, I think some of the shortcuts are pretty interesting. Boo Cinema, like, there's some really cool stuff. You go in there on free roam, there's a lot of interesting junk going on in there. I think there's like a Peach medallion, but I think there are some P-Switch missions. The Mario Kart World map is so big. I think this is Rosalina's Ice World. Wait, no. No, it's not Rosalina's Ice World. It just feels very similar. I forget what the track of that name is. I'm getting that mixed up with Mario Kart 7. YouTube keeps bombarding me with warnings that my stream quality is not good enough, even though my test ones are the kind of example that it has for me is showing that it's fine. Tell me if it's good quality. Alright, well, if you like these live streams, I'll keep them up. I'll probably do a different game next time. Mario Kart World. Even though Mario Kart World is controversial, it's also pretty clickable. People still seem to like watching stuff about this game. Cause it's not bad, like, playability wise. Got a red shell. Oop. Okay. I never go out of my way to go to Yoshi's in this game, even though the meals you eat give you a speed boost. Feels like you sacrifice it by going out of your way. Oh, 720p. Okay, I gotta figure out. I switched from OBS to Streamlabs because I had used OBS before. Which I found to not have issues, but my mic would sound worse. Like, my mic quality, I think, is better through here. But I gotta figure out the situation. Okay, there's lag. Yeah, I gotta fix my situation here. I have to get a bit more familiar with live streaming because I don't do it that much. I'm more of a long-form content person. But I'm figuring it out. Ooh, just ran into that wall. That's another thing I find about these intermissions is that a lot of the turns are pretty unclear. Like, you'll run into walls. Okay, it's not too bad. Well, that's good. At least it's not horrible. I'll have to fix it for next time. I find, though, that these intermissions, like, they have really awkward turns. I don't know if it's just me. But, like, there'll be a 90-degree turn out of nowhere. And then not very clear signage saying that there's a turn. So, I mean, it's kind of an issue with the intermissions. I get that they're boring, but I don't feel like they're unexciting either. Like, their driving straight isn't ideal, but it does seem like there's enough stuff that goes on the road for them to actually be decent. But it's a trade-off. You could have a cohesive world and a lot of different paths, but also it might not be the most exciting. Yeah, the turns can be, it depends on what section it is. Like, there was one that I had back there that was pretty bad. But the world is so big that you don't really memorize everything about the features. I like the water straights along this part though, even if there's not much going on. In second, I gotta get to first. Oh, there we go. Oh, shoot. The waves in this game, like, they feel like they're... You can trick off them, but they feel kind of weird too, because some of them trick better than others. Like, right now I'm trying to trick off some of them, and they're just not tricking. Or I guess jump boosting, as Nintendo calls it. Tricking just sounds more natural as a word to use, but it is what it is, I guess. Alright. Well, I made it top 4, thankfully. Oh, spiny shell. Those changed the game. Like, see, I didn't trick there. I did after. Alright. Let's see if we can get first. It's not looking that way. Oh, that anchor there. This isn't horrible for Wario Shipyard standards in this, or for Mario Kart World standards for this track. When it's raining, it's good, but it's not always raining when you play the game. Oop. Maybe does that end up putting me in first? Ooh. Let's go. Alright, well, that's gonna do it for today's live stream. I'm out of time. But thank you for watching. Maybe I'll try doing another one of these next Saturday. See what's going on. But I appreciate you watching. Bye.